So, hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. For those of you who are new here, my name is Samantha Edwards Hubert. I am a certified health and life coach, transformational coach, and I help women that have been struggling to lose weight to finally lose it and keep it off without being on a diet. And today is a very special day. I am super excited to be joined here with my lovely friend, Karin Del Maestro, who's an incredible, phenomenal health coach. She's a breast cancer survivor, and she's also an advocate. So, hello, Karin, and welcome.
Hi, Sam. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm so excited to be here with you and speaking to your tribe. It's such an honor. Thank you.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to have you because, Karin, this October is such an important month, and I want to first of all start off by thanking you for the work that you do and spreading awareness. You are just incredible, so thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And it's it was through my own breast cancer journey that I kind of learned a lot about what it's like to be on that side of things, and that's why now I specialize in working with breast cancer survivors after treatment ends and helping them to thrive and not live under that constant black cloud of the fear of recurrence, because it can be quite paralyzing, to be honest. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, great. And Karin, I think you just kickstart because you just started it off there. Because would you share with us your journey and your story?
Absolutely. I was actually first diagnosed back in July of 2018, and I had actually been feeling since the January like something was off, like something was wrong in my body. I couldn't pinpoint it. And as somebody that, has been in the health and wellness field for almost 20 years, I've got pretty good self-awareness of my body and what's going on, but I just could not figure it out. So I kept going to see all these different specialists. I was checking on autoimmune because I previously had Zika virus. Didn't know if it was something like left over from that. And just all of these other tests, and everything kept coming up negative. And it was then my routine mammogram in July that actually they found a lump that was very close to my chest wall, so it would never have been found unfortunately, through a self-exam. Then I discovered after a biopsy that was breast cancer. I was diagnosed with stage 1, which you do not know at the time you find out that you have breast cancer, by the way. It's such a tough thing because you actually have to wait. But I was also then diagnosed with the BRCA2 gene mutation, so which I was the first one in my family to get tested. I did not have a whole bunch of breast cancer in my family. My paternal grandmother had it. But when I met with a genetic counselor, and this is pretty interesting because I think that we have to have a history of breast cancer in order to look to see if we have the gene, and it's not the case because there are many genetic mutations, but the BRCA gene, the breast cancer gene, is the most prevalent and the one that we hear most about, and it's also the one that increases our risk the most. But within my family, my mom had liver, lung, stomach, and skull cancer. She was diagnosed with those 4 a week before she passed away. My dad had bladder cancer and prostate cancer. Now, the BRCA gene increases your risk of melanoma, eye cancer, ovarian cancer, prostate cancer, pancreatic cancer, and also stomach. Stomach is often the second place that the cancer would go after breast. So, and my mom did not have breast cancer. So even though there wasn't a lot of breast cancer going on, there was a lot of cancer in the family. And I'm actually incredibly grateful that the counselor said, let's get you tested, because otherwise I would not have known about the increase in my risk. Now, just so you know, having the BRCA gene increases your risk of getting breast cancer to 87%.
Wow.
So it's very high, which is
Yes.
why a lot of people choose to go through prophylactic surgeries and what have you, including my daughter, who both my children, my adult children, also carry the gene. My daughter's chosen to go through prophylactic surgeries to reduce her risk down to 4%. So massive risk reduction right there. So I went through I've been through 6 surgeries altogether. I'm incredibly grateful. I did not need chemotherapy or radiation. They checked my tumor, and when they find out the staging of the tumor, they also can do an additional test called something called an Oncotype DX, which is one of those like medical things where it's just getting more information on the tumor, and that gives them information, gives the oncologist information on whether or not you need chemotherapy. My Oncotype DX score was very, very low, which was why I did not need chemotherapy. I consider myself extremely fortunate. That was something I was so fearful of. But yeah, so ultimately it was that mammogram. It was that annual mammogram that gave me this information that if I had not been doing it regularly, I would have ended up at a much further along stage, right? And so the thing to know with this disease is how important early detection is, right? And I know that's one of the things we wanted to talk about today, because when it's found at a stage 0 to 1, the survival rate, which they count after 5 years, you're actually not, they don't say that you're in remission of cancer until after 5 years. After 5 years, the survival rate is 99%. So you can see how important that is. Stage 2, after 5 years, 93%. It's still so high, so high. So this is why things like doing your annual screenings, be it mammograms, ultrasounds, MRIs, thermography, whichever modality you're choosing, but also monthly breast self-checks. Super, super important.
Oh, wow. Karin, thank you so much for sharing your story. And thank you so much for sharing the importance of, this early detection, the importance of also the annual screening, the self breast exam as well. Thank you. So I just want to say to our viewers, if you have any questions and you want to get them answered, please pop them in the comments. If you see me looking down, I am monitoring my phone. So as the questions come up, Karin will be able to answer them, and Karin will be able to speak to them. So thank you so much, Karin. And so Karin, could you tell us a little bit more about the self-exam and what we should be looking for there?
Absolutely. I actually became a globally certified breast health educator after my journey because, and this was the main reason, I spoke briefly about my 6th surgery. My 6th surgery was to actually remove the implants that I had as part of my breast reconstruction. And I had them removed because I was experiencing some breast implant illness symptoms. And so I thought, okay, I'm flat. I don't need to do a check anymore. Come to realize that I do. So, whether you are an all-natural girl, whether you've got breast implants, whether you have a flat like myself, whether you've got breast reconstruction, we all need to be doing a breast self-exam. Now, and so what I now do as part of being a globally certified breast health educator is I actually teach a monthly breast health class. And during that, I go into the 12 things to look for when we're doing a breast self-exam. I'm not going to go into all 12 today because we'll be here for a while, but there's actually 12 symptoms to look for, which I didn't know until I went through this training. That's part of the reason why I love to spread this news, because it's like, I don't think most of us know. So what I actually want to do, if you're down for it, is make this a little bit interactive. We're not going to do a breast check, don't worry. But would you raise your hand? Okay, now we're going to go to the 3 middle fingers. Okay, this, can you, other hand. You got it. So this is actually the average size of a lump found by accident.
Wow.
3 fingers. Okay, so this is a handy dandy thing handed to me by the Know Your Lemons Foundation, which is the group that I got certified with. This big. That's the average size of a lump found by accident. Wow. Okay, now thumbs up. All right, this is the average size of a lump found when you're doing monthly self-exams. Significantly smaller. Now this blue guy instead of this guy. Much smaller. Okay. Right, so we're already seeing why we need to be doing these monthly self-exams. Now, index finger. We're not done yet, girl. Still got work to do. This is the average size of a lump found by 1 mammogram.
Oh, wow.
This is purple guy. Okay. Now we got one more. Pinky. All right. This is the average size of a lump found when you do an annual mammogram. So if we take a look here,
Wow, look at
accident, annual mammogram, routine self-exams, 1 mammogram is the purple guy.
that's incredible, Karin.
Right? So I am a very visual person. So for me, this blows my mind. And so you can see immediately why it's so important that we really learn how to do this properly. Because honestly, it takes about 10 minutes a month. So if we cannot prioritize 10 minutes a month on ourself and our breast health, we need to talk. Because, right? Because it's really important. And if that can lower your risk, if that can save your life, right? Just by doing that monthly self-exam. Yeah, your mind is like blown right now. I see the look on your face.
It is totally blown. Just like you said, I am like you, very visual. And when you just put it into perspective there, I'm just absolutely gobsmacked. So this is why, Karin, thank you so much for being here. This is why this is so important for us. It is so important.
Yeah, it really is. And so, you know, looking at the average size of the lumps, right, that's given us our why. Now we're like, okay, all right, I'm realizing that I need to do this. This is something that's important. So now we need to kind of figure out, what are we even looking for?
Yes.
And I'll share a couple of those things. Like I said, there are actually 12, and I do go into detail in them in the monthly breast health party. Number 1 is a lump, right? Now, the thing with a breast cancer lump is it is hard, like a lemon seed. Okay, it can be any shape, it can be any size, but it's hard like a lemon seed. You can also get lumps that are more like a pea or a bean. These are often either your milk ducts or your lymph nodes. So those are typically not cancerous. Okay, so most breast cancers are hard. If it's a lump, it's a hard lump, like a lemon seed. Okay, another thing to look for is dimples. Okay, now when we're doing our breast exam, we actually do it in 3 different directions. We do it standing up, we do it lying down, and then we do it in front of a mirror, lifting up our arms and lowering them. And the thing when you're doing it monthly is you get to recognize your body, right? We're all different. We've all got lumps and bumps, and especially if you've got dense breasts or you've got cystic breasts, like these are very common things. And especially as we get older, our breasts tend to get more dense and more cystic. So the big thing then becomes recognizing it when something changes. This is why it becomes really easy when you're doing this monthly, right? So looking for dimples, and especially as you lift up your arms, if you're noticing that something isn't moving, perhaps, whereas the rest of your tissue is going up and down, that can be something that needs to be investigated. The other thing might be changes in your nipples. Sometimes that can look like they can become crusty, they can start to leak, and they can also change color. So all of these things can be things worth exploring. Now, again, it's about when something changes, when something isn't the norm for you, that's when you get it checked out. And one of my, I guess, Karinisms, right, is that we don't stew over things, right? Either we do something about it or we let it go. Because when we stew, that is stress in our body. It's going to make us sick. It's going to create inflammation in our body. Inflammation is the root cause of all disease. Yeah. So not an option. Yeah. So we do something about it or we let it go. So if you find something or you're concerned about something or it's niggling in your head and you're just not sure, get it checked.
Yeah.
Get it checked. Rule it out. Imagine the peace of mind then that comes by, oh, okay, that's good.
Absolutely.
Right? It's so huge. So huge. So any questions on that? Those are just a couple of the 12 things to look out for.
I'm just going to go check and see if anything's come through on Facebook. So again, if you are watching and you have questions here for Karin, please pop them in the comments box and get them answered in real time. So I'm not seeing anything come through. And if you catch in the replay, again, please pop them into the comments and Karin will be able to circle back and she'll be able to answer them for you.
Yeah.
So this is, Karin, this has been such an incredible eye-opener.
Good.
I've learned so much.
Yeah, it's something that we think is, very simple. And also, another question I get all the time, Sam, is what's the right time in the month to do my breast work? Right? Perfect. And that's another question I get all the time. And we often see on social media, feel it on the first. But here's the thing. Our period and our hormones affect how lumpy we are. And you may have noticed that change. And certainly all of us, I think, notice how much more tender our breasts are around periods and stuff. So if you are still getting a period, the time to do your breast self-exam is about a week after your period ends. Okay. If you are in menopause, that's me, thrown into surgical menopause, then you get to pick a day. So that's where something like feel it on the first makes sense. It's super easy to remember. Then you get to just pick a date, but you want to make sure you're doing your self-exam at the same time every month. And that's important. Okay, so we're comparing, just our breasts at the same time every month, so that when our hormones are cycling, at least we're meeting it at the same time every month. So that's important.
Well, Karin, this has been absolutely amazing. Such great information, such great tips here. It's been absolutely amazing. So, Karin, just while we were going through the conversation, you spoke about a class that you have. So for our viewers that are listening in and they want to take this further, they want to find out what are the other things to check for, where can they find you, what can they do?
Absolutely, and we can drop the link in here. I offer a free monthly breast health party. So the one that's upcoming closest to this is actually on November 8th. It's a Sunday. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon for us, Pacific time, 6 o'clock Eastern. And please, come along, learn these tips. I also, some of the comments that I've had back from people that have taken the class is that we turn this really serious subject into something like we have a laugh, we have a giggle, and we do this together because I think one of the reasons that it's sometimes so daunting to think of doing this, it's like, well, what if I'm on my own and I find something? Whereas if we're doing this in a group, and your video can be on or off, it doesn't matter. But you've just got the support of people, of other women who are in the same boat, going through exactly the same thing, learning the same information. And like I said, we like to have fun. I like to have a laugh. There's games. Oh. I know. But because it's so, it's serious and it's daunting and it doesn't need to be. And I think that's part of what my mission is. Like, these subjects do not need to be taboo. And I think that when we can band together and support each other, there's so much power in that. There really is. Yeah. So we will drop the link under this video for anybody that wants to come join us. And, by all means, if you have any questions, just tag me in the post, and I'm happy to answer anything at all.
Well, Karin, this has been absolutely incredible. You have been wonderful. Like I said, I have learned so much. I do know that I will be joining you on the 8th for that class because I love to learn. So I'm looking forward to that. And thank you so much for being here today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. It's been fun as always. I always love to get to hang out with you.
It's always fun, and I can just imagine how much fun the classes are because you love to laugh, you love to have fun, and so there's something wonderful about laughter. There's healing in that as well. So it's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Karin. And I look forward to seeing you on the 8th. So it's the 8th of November, 3 p.m. PST, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I'll go into the group right now and put the link in there for anybody that's interested. Thank you so much, Sam. And I look forward to seeing you on the 8th. I'm going to hold you to that. Make sure.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I will see you then. So thank you so much. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. And yep, like Karin said, please tag her any questions you have. In the meantime, everybody, I hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Karin, I hope you have an amazing afternoon too.
Thank you, my friend. You too. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.